Last episode, we discovered the magic hidden within the walls of Halloween Haven on Pumpkin Lane. With a few coats of fresh paint, the house was move-in ready. Today, let's explore the grounds and get to know a little bit more about the road that leads to Halloween Haven. The road called Pumpkin Lane. Episode 2, Pumpkin Lane. A house is just a building. It's the people who live there that make it a home. And that includes all of its quirks too, like the new baby dragon who also moved in next door, trying to become friends with the much bigger ogre. If we're supposed to believe everything we read in the Real Estate Times, ogres and dragons are supposed to be enemies, but they seem to be getting along great. Ogre! Come and get me, ogre! Come on! I'll double dare! Oh, too high! As you can see, it's pretty much the perfect place to live. Well, all's well that ends well. Back to Pumpkin Lane. The way back to Halloween Haven, Pumpkin Lane, is a long, bumpy, windy road. And the only mode of transportation is a pumpkin carriage. I suppose it makes sense that there's no regular road to Pumpkin Lane, because why would you build a road that led to an abandoned house? I don't mind taking the scenic route though. There's plenty to see, as long as the moon doesn't hypnotize you and put you to sleep. Keep your eyes open. Hidden in this picture are some Halloween icons. Let's see if you can find them. Here's what we're trying to find. A witch's hat. It's common to find these on the road to Pumpkin Lane because they double as construction zone cones. What are they constructing? Well, hopefully eventually an actual road. 2 pieces of candy, but whatever you do, don't eat them. It's a trick, not a treat. If you've ever wondered what happened to the pirate's eye that's covered with a patch, well, eventually it washed up on shore, made its way to, well, the road to Pumpkin Lane. Then, of course, there's Puff the Magic Dragon, who got lost on his way to Honolly. His nest is usually full of sealing wax, string, and other fancy stuff. Notably missing is his friend Jackie Paper, but that's a mystery for another day. Then, of course, there's the invisibility potion. It's called the invisibility potion not because it makes you invisible, but because the potion itself is nearly invisible. Ah, the butterfly of the amphibian world. There's nothing uncommon about this frog, other than that it's a common frog, which is a pretty uncommon thing to find in an uncommon forest. Then there's Snowflake the cat, obviously named after her magic ability to camouflage almost perfectly against a blizzard backdrop. Then there's the club that fell out of the deck of cards when it was overshuffled. Then there's the quintessential garden gnome, who's hiding from the ogre, who's hiding from the dragon. And, well, I guess this gnome is also hiding from us in this game. Okay, Now it's your turn. See if you can find the hidden objects before the time runs out. Did you find them all? If not, push pause to keep looking. Or continue on with us to see the answers. Let's see what you found. The witch's hat. One of the pieces of candy. And the other piece. A common frog in an uncommon forest. A garden gnome. Puff the magic dragon. The club from the playing cards, and the invisible potion. And what's better than a headlamp to help light the way? A third eye, courtesy of a pirate. And finally, Snowflake, the camouflaged cat. We're almost home. We're almost to Halloween Haven. Welcome home. Home. I like the sound of that. A house is just a building, but a home is made by the people who live in it. We better start building that road. This home isn't abandoned any longer. It's ours. Okay, friends. Let's paint that road that leads to Halloween Haven. Yeah, let's paint our own Pumpkin Lane. We'll start by setting up our paint station the same as we did last episode. In fact, I'm using the same paper bag. I just flipped it over. Also, check to make sure you're wearing paint clothes. Clothes that can get paint on them. Remember, this paint does not wash off clothes, but it does wash off hands. Then, look inside your box and see if you can find your 8x10 canvas. This is going to be the grounds surrounding Halloween Haven. This is where we're going to paint our pumpkin lane. You'll also need your Halloween Haven, the house we painted last episode. And the glue from your box. See if you can set your workstation up so it looks like mine. If you need more time, push pause, then push play to continue on with us. Great work! Alright, let's keep going with this. This next step is up to you. We're trying to figure out how to position the home onto the canvas so that we have space for decorating on all four sides. By putting your house at an angle, you have room for a curved walkway, and you also have a bit of a backyard. By moving the house toward the back of your canvas, you have a larger front yard, but not as much space in the back. Take some time to decide what looks best to you. Once you've decided, take your glue. When you pull off the cap, you might notice it's sealed shut. It won't squeeze out until we cut the tip. Ask a grown-up to help you with a pair of scissors to snip off the tip of that glue. There, we're ready to go. Add the glue to the bottom of your house. Then, stick your house to the canvas in the position you've chosen. Next, start to think about the layout of your landscape. I'm planning to do a curvy road leading to Halloween Haven. You might have a different plan, and that's okay. In fact, it's great. You might even want to grab a pencil and draw your plans out onto your canvas before you begin to paint. Let's add these few elements to our workstation. If you'd like to draw your plans with a pencil, add a pencil. If you're going to skip this step and go straight to painting, you'll need your cup of water, your paper towel, and your magic wand. For those of you who are drawing out your plan, you can put that cup of water, paper towel, and your paintbrush magic wand to the side. Pick up your pencil and start to draw the outlines of your plan. I'm going to begin with a curvy walkway. Remember, I'm showing you my plans, but your plans could be entirely different. Next, I'm planning to add some swirls to the ground. I think this will give a great swirly, spooky effect. Notice I'm not coloring anything in with my pencil. I'm just pushing lightly enough to make a mark to set my ideas onto the canvas. I'll use the paints to fill them in. Whether you chose to draw your plan or you're just going to improvise is up to you. But this next part is something we can all do together. Let's start the painting process. Let's add our orange and gray paint to our painting station. Here's how your paint station should look. If you need to pause and reset, that's okay. Then push play to rejoin us. Pick up your paintbrush and begin to paint. Sometimes this is when friends get a bit nervous. Applying paint to a canvas can be a little nerve-wracking. But remember, our paintbrush is also our magic wand. It already knows how to do the painting. All we have to do is dip it in the paint and be its dance partner on the canvas. I'm going to speed this process up a bit on the camera, so I'll look like I'm painting really fast. But there's no rush for you to complete this step of the project. I just wanted to show you how it looks as we make a bit of progress. One thing to keep in mind is even though you have gray and orange paint, two colors, you can also use the white of the canvas as your third color. Leaving spaces white will add that additional layer of color to your landscape. Because I'm demonstrating, I'm going to paint my entire canvas, but I like where I'm going with these dark gray swirls and a lot of white background. Having that option to leave white space creates a bit of a dynamic look and feel. This is something you might want to pause and consider as you're painting. And in between colors, don't forget to wash and dry your brush. Your orange will thank you for it, and so will the gray. To create fine, thin lines, I can use the very tip of my paintbrush and very gently swirl that brush across the canvas, straight up and down. The flat head of my paintbrush will help me make crisp, clean lines. Remember, your paintbrush already knows how to do the painting. But if it accidentally slips and you get paint on your house, don't worry about it. Don't try to wipe it off. Instead, wait for it to dry completely. Then, paint over it. That's the magic of these paints. You can cover things up after the first layer is dry. Okay, friends, I know you're still working and you've done a great job. Keep painting. Keep at it. You've got this. But while we work, I wanted to share something really cool that I found inside Halloween Haven. It all started when I was exploring in this room here. I had just finished painting the main entry, and I was dreaming up a vision for this room here. That's when I found this shelf of abandoned technology. I had no idea what it did, but I turned the knob anyway. And despite this being a silent film, that machine, that old piece of technology, made that noise. I cheered. This was an old radio. And radio hour was just about to begin. You mean a long time ago people used to listen to the radio without any moving pictures, bells, or whistles? What a strange novel concept. Okay, keep painting if you dare, while we listen to Halloween Radio Hour. P.S. It's not actually a whole hour. Welcome to Halloween Radio Hour, the cauldron of colors. Come closer, dear child, and let me tell you a tale about 3 witches who lived on the island of Whale. They weren't pirates, no, but they pilfered, yes, just like Hook, Jack Sparrow, and Bonnie and the rest. Kindish, you might say, depending who you ask, but not as nice as the Witch of the East, or as bad as the Witch of the West. Instead of a ship, they sailed by broomstick at night. The clouded-out moon kept them hidden from sight, zipping and zapping and zanging and zinging, buzzing and zooming. What were they doing? Wrongdoing? Right doing? Undoing? Evil doing? Nobody knew what. Just that they were, well, doing. Then by morning, still doing. What? We don't know. The cauldron's all set, cried the crow. Clanging and clinking, cackling and cooing, doing, just doing, doing. The treasures these witches obtained late at night were all of the colors that were afraid of the light. Nocturnal they were, or so it would seem, except for during Halloween. Colors, come colors, they sang and they called. It's time to attend the Masked Monster Ball. A pinch of red and a pinch of blue, the witches made a purple stew. They took a swig from their hat. Their hair turned violet. Gone was the black. Blue and yellow mixed together. Why not throw in a chicken's feather? Stir, 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 stir some more. They didn't stop stirring till their arms got sore. A dab here, a dab there, a dot of green paint applied with careful care. The beauty mark of a witch, I suppose, is the bright green wart on the end of their nose. Red and yellow went in too, and the witches made an orangey brew. Swirls and whirls and bubbles ensued, till each was a pumpkin. Well, except for their shoes. Down on their feet were some ruby red heels, like the ones from the Wizard of Oz that Dorothy steals. "Now take us to Halloween," they said with 3 clicks. Then poof, they were gone without their broomsticks. The cauldron and the broomsticks and the colors just sat, blinking, staring, shrugging. What was all of that? Then up walked a boy stuffed with straw and some wheat. "Hello, I'm a scarecrow," he said. "Trick or treat." He looked at the cauldron. No candy was there. He looked at the colors, who looked back at him scared. He looked at the broomsticks, who managed to say, "Please don't mistake our broom heads as hay." "Who's got the candy? Where is it hiding?" the little boy shouted. When that didn't work, the little boy pouted. The colors didn't know quite what to do. Candy after bedtime? Is this rule new? Then came a princess, a fairy, and a Yule log, a mermaid, a monster, and a half-bird, half-dog. Meanwhile, the witches were enjoying the ball when their pockets started ringing, and they answered the call. "Help!" cried the broomsticks. "We don't know what to do. These children want candy. They're being quite rude." Click, click, click went the heels they wore on their feet. Time for some tricks before we give them a treat. Then poof, from the cauldron the witches popped out. "Which one of you is it that gave my broomstick a pout?" The children all froze. Not a single one spoke. "What's the matter?" said the witch. "Toad got your throat?" Then she wiggled her fingers and the wart on her nose, and turned each and every one of them into a toad with 3 toes. "Ribbit, ribbit," said the children as they jumped on a log. Ahem, my mistake. They weren't toads, they were frogs. Manners like "thank you" and a genuine "yes, please" is all it would take to break the spell of the rudeness disease. "Candy! Give me candy!" is not very polite. So remember your manners this Halloween night. As for these children and their tricks and their guys, well, all of them got candy. It was chocolate-dipped flies. Whoa, that was the craziest daydream. How'd your painting go? Well, I'm finished and about to pack up. Tomorrow, we'll explore iconography and start to make some decorations for the yard. It's almost Halloween.